this. Is there anything you want the fans to know or any last thing you want to say to them before we get to see this series tonight?
This is where the fun begins.
All right. Hope everybody can hear me. Hope everybody can see me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Jeremiah 7 Movie News Show. I think you guys can hear me very well. And thank you guys for coming back here. If you're watching on the replay right now, make sure you hit the subscribe button, comment, like, and share. Thank you for stopping by. But if you're watching us live, thank you as well. I just want to shout out a few people in the chat right now. Shout out to the Great Pill Podcast in the building. Shout out to Great Pill Podcast. Shout out to my wife, Tamika. Thank you, sweetheart. Love you. Thank you. And again, you're watching this in the playback. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure you leave a like on your way out. So today in the world of movies and TV shows and all that stuff, we have a lot to discuss. But first, I just want to give just a big shout out to you guys. And I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did. I know this is my first Thanksgiving I had with my wife, and now my parents coming in town and stuff like that. So it went very well. One of the best Thanksgivings I had, and I really appreciate them for being there and having a good time and stuff. And I hope you guys had a good time too during the holidays and stuff like that. But yeah, we got a few topics for you guys today, and we're actually going to get into them right now. So before we get into the main one, actually, I will get into the main one because there are many things in the world of comic books, such as Marvel and DC, but there's only one that holds the title of being yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about Invincible. Let me share my screen right now. Right here. Yeah, Invincible Season 2, Episode 4, which is part one. Part one of the of Season 2. Part 2 will be coming in early 2024. We know that's confirmed. But I just want to give my thoughts on Invincible Season 2, Part 1 as a whole. This was a fantastic start to the rest of the season. For those of you guys who have not read the comics or anything, this whole Part 1 was all set up, these remaining 4 episodes. And I really had the privilege of watching them before they came out and stuff, just binging through the first 4 episodes. And this one, especially episode 4, knew that it was coming and knew everybody was anticipating this to happen, and they delivered in all cylinders. Again, Invincible, Amazon, with the writing they're doing with this show, the action, the drama behind it, and everything is top notch. there's a lot to unpack here, and especially what they set up, what things, some cliffhangers, especially, but also teasing what we're going to be having coming up in the rest of the season. But one thing I want to talk about is the big centerpiece here is that we get the reunion of Omni-Man and Invincible, and not only that we get a reveal of the fact that he's alive, we also get a reveal that that Invincible has a brother. That's right. Invincible has a brother, which you'll later find out, not named yet. I know his name, but he'll be revealed later, and he's a very, very important character in the future of Invincible. But yes, this changes a lot of things you see here. Yes, Nolan has mated with a non-humanoid species, which is blasphemy amongst Viltrumites, and they basically are against it. And but he, after the whole fight, first of all, we get to this. Let's just talk about this whole episode, how it just opened up with Omni-Man, leaving, basically almost killing his son, and leaving the void of space, and just simply just going out and almost deleting himself in the vacuum of space. I forgot what the song that was playing when he was flying, but definitely it was it's just showing that even the worst people, you think Omni-Man is also going through it. We see, uh, Mark, and we see his mother going through it, especially the absence of their father. Now we're seeing, his position where he has been in the last few months after the events of the season finale of season 1 of Invincible. But yeah, he was going through it, and he was through. As you can see, he kept flying in the vacuum, deep abyss of space, and we're seeing this, just wow, no lines being said whatsoever until these race of people come in. And again, I did appreciate that, even though the points that they're following the comics, they're then are letting things play out more dragged on than they did before in the comics and stuff like that. It's not rushed. They're actually definitely spending its time and actually letting these characters have some emotional weight in these episodes, especially after episode 3, especially with Invincible's mother, that we definitely got a huge emotional weight in that episode that was definitely not saying hard to watch, but definitely relatable. I will say there's a lot of survivors guilt that's going through there, grieving, and not from a lot of different parties, especially all the victims that Omni-Man created, and the victims of the families that the people that he killed in season 1, and that Mark and his mother have to deal with that. And now we're seeing this perspective of Omni-Man. I again, shout out to J.K. Simmons, being top notch in terms of voice acting in this episode. But we knew that he had a duty to come and conquer a planet, and he left his post. And to the Viltrumites, like, no, we're coming for you. And I knew what was coming the moment when while we saw the child there that he had with the ant species and stuff like that. But again, one thing I did appreciate with it, and listening to the scene with Mark, is that he wasn't easily forgiving, but he wasn't trying to fight his dad either. And again, there was a lot of scenes where even then, even though that Nolan has changed briefly, there still wasn't things that he was still wrestling with as a character. Let me move this side. It's fine right here. There we go. Right here. And there were still a lot of things that he was still wrestling with. And what I found fascinating was that again, that there's this scene particularly right here when he was asking Mark, like, listen, why do I care? Why do I care about these people dying? I shouldn't. They're weak, right? And he said you should have felt that way back on Earth. And again, that hit him. And that's when again the Viltrumites come and basically tried to stop him. But again, that scene right here, especially him crying, and he's still conflicted, which again, I like that he's still not just one-dimensional type character. There's the layers to him, especially just amidst all the conflict and everything that he created, and now he has this new life on this planet, and now that he's now started a new family and everything. But even though he wasn't replacing replacing his wife and everything, that he still was wife and his son. He still was just trying to move forward, and he needed Mark's help, which is why he reached out to him. But yeah, I give shout out to the show. The action on this episode was top notch, because I definitely want to get into the whole Viltrumite fight that we get at the end, which is not one, not two, but three Viltrumites are fighting Omni-Man and Invincible, to the point now that Invincible and Omni-Man are have to team up to basically protect his half brother, and I guess you can call her his stepmother. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. But again, when they were fighting each other, or fighting, the Viltrumites and stuff, we get to a scene where now that, one of the Viltrumites that Nolan takes out, or at least we think he took out, and then we see Mark going toe to toe with his one Viltrumite girl, which you see right here, and he's getting his butt kicked, and Nolan literally tell you, hey, listen, you're not fighting like you're trying to kill her. You try to kill her, or she's going to kill you. And he said, I'm not a monster. Like, no, this is what I trained you for, because this now to be truly a Viltrumite, and what they stand for is, no weakness, and just, you going to kill. You're not going to just try to save people. And there's a moment again, where Mark had to tap into that, which I liked. Again, he still had a position of going back to that father role that he abandoned, on Earth, and again, and you're seeing Invincible now becoming the Invincible we know that's going to be coming in the comics and stuff like that. He's growing to more of his Viltrumite heritage, but just because he's tapping into that doesn't mean that he is like his father, like the true or Viltrumites, trying to seek, kill, and destroy, right? But that's the thing, that he's fearing himself, that if I tapped in this side of myself, I don't know if I'm going to come back, and I don't know if I'm going to become just like you. But yeah, we get to this amazing fight scene, which is the centerpiece of the whole thing. And after, basically Nolan brutally, saves Mark after killing both of the Viltrumites, all of a sudden the Viltrumite before actually, broke Omni-Man's back, and he's able to capture him and take him back to the Viltrumite home planet for his trial. And as I think it was called General Craig, if I'm not believe, that guy that was talking to Mark, saying, hey, listen, you're going back home. You need a plan for your return, a plan for our return for Viltrumite. If you don't, we will kill you and everything you love. And also there was also love and respect there they had for Invincible, because he said, like, it looked like you prove yourself to your Viltrumite heritage, and but now that you prove yourself, now we're using you for our cause and stuff like that. But again, after that, we see again Nolan and leaving Mark again, not by his own will, obviously, but again, it was a very emotional scene, that both of them getting their butt kicked. But this is also a position they never actually seen Omni-Man before. You're not seeing Omni-Man, basically taking the hits and everything, getting brutally. Now you're seeing Viltrumite on Viltrumite action, and he losing. Finally seeing, Omni-Man losing a fight, and now supposedly dead, which we know he's not dead. But what does that lead for in the second half of the season? We shall find out. And now that Mark is now left to protecting his protecting his half brother. And now, like, what does that mean in terms of him now going back to his home planet? Now, is he going to stay there? And then, because he's not going to be able to fly back to Earth on his own. And now we still also have Alan the alien. He's presumably dead or so. So we think, right? So there's a lot of things they leave up that definitely set up the second half of the season. But this is by far my favorite episode of this season. And I don't know if definitely top 5 of the season, and not possibly top 3. But yeah, this was a very good fight that we actually get to see Viltrumite on Viltrumite action first in the series now, aside from with Nolan and Mark. But yeah, this was definitely something you guys look forward to. I know that the second half of Invincible season 2 will be coming out early 2024, and it will also be coming out around the same time as the Boys season 4. So that's something you guys could look out for relatively soon. But again, just in terms of looking at this overall season, I have to give props in terms of the showrunners of the show, at least with this 4 episodes, because it might be a note that's saying that people think that this might be, slow season so far, but it's only just preparing you for what's coming next. And I know what's coming next, and you guys are not ready for it. But other than that, Invincible season 2 will be coming back on Amazon Prime in early 2024. Let us know your thoughts on the first 4 episodes of season 2 in the comment section down below. And did you see this episode? Did you like it? Did you not? Were you expecting a little bit more? Let me know in the comment section down below. All right, guys. Now, going into our next topic here. Now, there's been a lot of the news that kind of dropped today from headline that regards to Marvel, and we get into the Marvel section of our show. But again, aside from all that, then we're going to our next segment calling "What's New with the MCU." And we are back. So let me give 1 second, y'all. Look at this screen. There we go. There we go. Let me share this. Sharing my screen right now. All right. So as you see below, there was some news today that was dropped by Variety about Taika Waititi. For those of you guys who do not know, Taika Waititi was the director for the Thor Ragnarok and also Thor Love and Thunder. And do you see him right now in the picture right here? But yeah, there was an article that was dropped today by Variety that supposedly explained that Taika Waititi never had interest in directing a Marvel movie. He took Thor Ragnarok because he was poor and he thought it was a great opportunity to feed his kids. This is coming from Variety right now. That Taika Waititi revealed on a new episode of the Smartlist podcast that he had no interest in joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a director. The filmmaker has directed 2 MCU movies. 2017 Thor Ragnarok, which is widely considered one of the best Marvel movies, and 2022 Thor Love and Thunder, which is one of the franchise's most polarizing installments in the franchise. The Oscar winner said he originally accepted the Ragnarok gig for money, as he had just had his second child. And this is quoted from Taika Waititi right now. He said, "You know what? I had no interest." And I want you guys, I'm going to repeat this right now. Repeat this. I had no interest in doing one of those movies. No interest in doing a Marvel movie whatsoever, y'all. But I'm going to continue on reading. Give me 1 second here. Scroll down. He said, it wasn't on my plan for a career as an author, but I was poor and I just had a second child. And I thought, you know what? This would be a great opportunity to feed these children. And again, I mean, obviously I understand that as any filmmaker, you want to, go and promote, make a film, make a decent living to provide for your family. Nobody's not arguing that. But he said that in Thor, let's face it, and I want you guys to pay attention to this right here. He said, in Thor, let's face it, it was probably the least popular franchise. He continued, I never read a Thor comic as a kid. That was the comic I picked up, and then I did some research on it, and I read one Thor comic or 18 pages or however long they are, and I was still baffled by this character. Again, he only read one Thor comic, about 18 pages. Now, I'm not saying you have to read the entire glossary of the Marvel comics to understand character, but just saying that you just picked up one to get this title character, that's saying something. When asked if Marvel executives were scared to bring him in, Waititi answered, I think there was no place left for them to go with that. I thought, well, they called me in. This is really the bottom of the barrel. Thor Ragnarok ended up earning critically acclaim $853 million at the worldwide box office, and it was a success. Thor: Love and Thunder topped out and still made a strong $760 million worldwide. YTT recently told Business Insider that he will most likely not return to direct another Thor movie because his slate is booked up for the next 6 years or so. As we know, that Taika Waititi is doing other projects. He's got tied to doing a Star Wars film along with other projects as well. So this is no news there. What is news, however, is that the fact that he basically saying that he had no interest basically of the character of Thor, that he didn't really saw him as an interesting character. And when Marvel asked him basically to do this gig, they basically had nowhere else to move Thor in terms of narratively in the franchise, right? After Thor: The Dark World, we do see him on the arc of basically going on to find these Infinity Stones and everything. But again, it took more of a less serious approach to Thor and made him more of a comedic type character in the franchise since Thor Ragnarok. And again, and I'm not saying that we've seen the different iterations of Thor, and now the fact that we got in Thor: Love and Thunder, which wasn't received very well, now therefore that makes Taika Waititi a bad director. That's not the case. What's going on here is the fact that we're seeing different versions of Thor throughout the MCU, and the fact that Marvel just does not know in terms of narratively wise to put this character in, right? Because he's a very crucial character in the Marvel cinematic universe, let alone in Marvel Comics, right? But the thing about it is that we see this, and I know for a fact that, especially for Chris Hemsworth's sake, he doesn't want to come back unless he wants to see a serious tone of these films. So only time will tell in terms of what will actually be in store for this film. But again, aside from that, I just want this film to actually, this character to succeed, just as Chris Hemsworth wanted to succeed. Again, is a fan favorite character, and now to a point, there's nowhere left to go with his character, even when they were trying to do something different with Thor: Love and Thunder, with the whole Jane Foster arc. They kind of just threw out the window and made, Thor an idiot, in which the comic that they're based off of, it actually was a very important storyline and a very dark storyline. Let me see if I can pull up that the Thor Jane Foster run. Let me get that comic right here. Yeah, so this was a very serious story that I know that Thor: Love and Thunder was going to be based off of, but again, let me see, we'll find here. Yeah, right. One second, y'all. Right here. Yeah, this is iconic. This is supposed to be an iconic storyline involving, with Jane Foster dealing with cancer and everything. But aside from that, again, this was a very important storyline, but it got turned into a joke. Even her having cancer became a part of a joke in that film. But I actually thought that was a missed opportunity that they could have, succeeded on in the future. But again, aside from all that, the question is talking about with Taika Waititi in terms of his direction of this character, the fact that Marvel did not know where to go with this with Thor. And when I'm reading his comments and anything, not saying that Taika Waititi is therefore a bad director. He has an Academy Award under his belt for Jojo Rabbit, and rightfully so. But the thing about what this is that it begs the question again, is that where left can we take Thor as a character? We know they tease Hercules and stuff, but in terms of journey of him being an OG Avenger now, right? And going to Secret Wars, King Dynasty and stuff, and especially after the events of Loki season 2, which had way more character development than Thor as a character, right? We can all probably attest to that. We need to know what direction they're going to put Thor in the future of the MCU. And I know that you guys want that, and I want that. But and as well as Chris Hemsworth. But I don't think these comments are anything polarizing. What it does just bring insight is the fact that Marvel is not doing a better job in terms of vetting. Okay, listen, do we have a direction where this character is going? And also, do we have a direction of the actual director who understand these characters, and so it would be best utilized to the best of their ability, right? Because again, never put your agenda and universe for your characters. If the characters don't work, the whole Marvel universe doesn't work. Period. Point blank. Period. So, and Thor in multiple like four movies, 4 Thor movies, and 3 Avengers films, along with other installments and stuff like that. Or I say 4 Avengers films. Yeah, he's been here over 8 movies, over 10 movies now, and here we are still contemplating, hey, where can we take Thor as a character? And I know for a fact Chris Hemsworth is sick and tired. This is just I am, but only time will tell what they're going to do with him as a character. But let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on Taika Waititi comments, and you guys think that Taika Waititi was wrong for for saying these things, and were you kind of, as a fan, I guess, were you upset or kind of like taken back reading it? For me, it just brought more information what I already knew. But again, it was very interesting to realize that he never actually read, or he only read a few pages in the Thor comic book, but didn't even like the character. I found that very interesting. But let me know in the comment section down below. All right, y'all. Now, our next topic here. Before we even get to our next topic here, we're going to take a little short break, and we will be right back very soon.
I'm Miss Minutes, and it's my job to catch you up, so let's not waste another minute. Settle in, sharpen your pencils, and check this out.
And we are back. Welcome back to Jedi Mike 7 Movie News Show. I'm your host, Jedi Mike 7. And make sure you hit the subscribe button, comment, like, and share. If you can, if you're watching the pre-recording, make sure you leave a like and comment down below. And thank you for stopping by. All right, guys. Now, this news today got dropped by Deadline. And actually, let me have to make sure I have the article, quote an article correctly here, that so we do know for a fact that Avengers King Dynasty, director of Shang-Chi, got pulled from the project because he was going to focus on other MCU films and other projects, i.e. Shang-Chi 2, which they should have done a long time ago. I was a fan of Shang-Chi, and even though the film probably didn't do financially good, obviously for COVID and other reasons, stuff like that, but aside from all that, there has been reports that there's going to be a new direction in terms of writers within Avengers King Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. And it's been confirmed that the writer, or I think either writer or showrunner, has been assigned to do Avengers Secret Wars, which is also who wrote the script for Loki season 1, and also Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, for those of you guys who didn't know my previous thoughts on this, I was not a fan of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I was not a fan at all. But yeah, it's been reported that the writer for Loki, Michael Waldron, is going to be writing Avengers King Dynasty, which I should have been saying since day one that they should have him to write this freaking movie. But let me give 1 second, guys. I'm trying to get the article right here. Right here. There we go. But yeah, so Avengers King Dynasty, we know that the director got pulled, but now we know this guy's signed an actor or a writer as of today. And it's going to be Michael Waldron, who has wrote Loki season 1 and also Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Give me 1 second, y'all. Here. There we go. And it's this man right here. Michael Waldron, he did Loki season 1, which I enjoyed. He also did Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And here's the report from Deadline today that Michael Waldron has been tapped to write Marvel Studios' Avengers King Dynasty, and Waldron has already been set to write Avengers Secret Wars. So he's both writing the Avengers Secret Wars and Avengers King Dynasty, which having the same writer for both films makes sense. Originally, both those films were supposed to come out in the same year, which was going to be ridiculous, and they delayed it a little bit. Now, who knows what the new direction of this film is going to be. But in the article right here, it said Waldron has become one of the Marvel's most trusted creative minds, having previously created and served as a showrunner for the season 1 of Loki, as well as a writer for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And the moves make sense to the studio to have him pen both films. Marvel Studio President Feige will produce both projects, as he has produced every single Marvel movie. Deadline recently broke that Destin Daniel Cretton, who is the director for Marvel's Shang-Chi, would not be directing the film in order to focus on other Marvel projects, such as the Wonder Man TV series, which I don't believe is going to be made at all. Avengers King Dynasty is far on the theatrical release date to kick off the summer of May 1st, 2026, giving Waldron more than enough time to put the pen and script and search for a director. So, yeah. And sorry, I got some people in the comments right now. But shout out to people in the comments right now. Shout out to LeGarrette. Shout out to Red Pill Ranger. Shout out to you, man. I'm actually going to drop the link in a second because I'm actually going to get to the next topic and probably leave open for callers and stuff like that. But thank you guys for stopping by. Any also moderators, any content creators, make sure you guys put your link in the chat. Make sure you want to show you guys support as well. But yeah, this is going to be the writer for Avengers King Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. Now, I am 50-50 on this decision, only because I was a fan of Loki season 1. I was not a fan of Loki of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. The reason why is simply because the inconsistency of these properties was very, very frustrating between the transition from Disney Plus shows to the movies. There is a lack of consistency, especially when you introduce your own logic into these shows and into these movies, and you're not even following it. When we get into the whole thing about the multiverse, about anomalies, about incursions, about all these things, right? It gets so confusing. And for me as a comic person, if you confuse me, there's a problem. There's a problem. Here, let me get this here. 1 second, y'all. Make sure I'm link right here. There we go. Yeah, if you confuse me, there's a problem. And what I mean by that is that the logic of these films have not been up to par at all. At all. And point that nobody has been invested, even when you get to a point of Loki, right? Loki was such a fantastic show, but the fact is that if that type of writing is not no longer being translated into the movies, no one's going to care. If we just keep going and having inconsistency from transitioning from these Disney Plus shows to the Marvel films, then we're going to have a serious problem. And again, Avengers Secret Wars is a big property. Amongst comics, crossing over multiple teams such as the X-Men, Avengers, Fantastic Four, all these things. It involves a bunch of different villains as well, especially Doctor Doom, which we're going to get into our next topic and going in just a second. But again, fact that you have Michael Waldron as a writer for these films, again, I think is a good decision. However, I do have my apprehensions, only because I was not a fan of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Not saying it was a horrible movie. It was the fact that it was very frustrating. The fact that with that storyline, they did not do a very good job in terms of engaging the multiverse the way they should. And you have to understand, when you're juggling these properties, it takes a huge amount of responsibility and detail when you're trying to deal and juggle all these characters. And yet we had two films, Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War, that were successful. But now we're getting to a point now where we have all these characters and there's no main leader, right? We have a new Captain America, we got Captain Marvel and all stuff, but nobody's caring about any of these characters. And as you see, in terms of box office, you don't care either. You don't care either. Because again, we can talk about whether we don't like a character or we do. Money talks and BS walks. It doesn't matter what we say. It doesn't even matter what we say on this panel right now. If the movie sells and people are buying tickets to go see the film again and seeing these characters, and also the streaming numbers or people are tuning into these Disney Plus shows, then guess what? You don't have the money to speak for yourself. But the money is speaking, and it's saying we're not buying it. We're not buying it. So, but I pose the question to you guys. Do you guys like that Michael Waldron, who was the showrunner for Loki season 1, is going to be writing not only Avengers Secret Wars, but also Avengers Kang Dynasty? Let me know in the comment section down below. All right, guys. Now, the next and last topic is that Disney tomorrow, by the taping of this recording, is going to be having a shareholders meeting, and it's not going to be not publicized or anything like that. Tomorrow, that Disney is going to be having a shareholders meeting about their expansion, about what's coming next in terms of Disney right now. I want to make sure you guys can see me clearly, and we'll make sure give me 1 second. That by taping this recording right now, that Disney is going to be having a shareholder meeting with Bob Iger and a lot of other heads at Disney tomorrow, and this is going to basically be talking about financials, about talking about how they can try to increase their profitability, whatever that might be. Now, I think the question proposed is that tomorrow is going to be a big discussion about what they're going to be doing, not only with the Marvel Universe, but also with Star Wars as well. This whole year in 2023 has been nothing but a textbook that Disney financially is losing money. They're overproducing these movies. They're not getting returned. As you see, Disney that in recent years, excuse me, 1 second. Let me get this. 1 second, y'all. In the 100th anniversary of Disney Studios, right? Disney is in trouble. But the financials are showing that this year that they're losing money, that they're overproducing their shows, overproducing their movies, and are not getting returned their investment. This past weekend, there was a film called Wish that came out. Wish, that was an animated film, right? I think about made 17 million opening or domestically, and again, that film cost I think about 200 million, or not 100 million to make. Still really overly expensive to make an animated movie that nobody's watching, and it's a shame. But again, the question is asking, how can Disney fix this issue that they're having right now? Because again, only time will tell in terms of what they're going to be doing with these characters, not only with their properties, but with their theme parks and all this stuff like that. They're not getting a return on their investment, and now they're slowly going down the drain. Especially with Marvel movies that they've been overly produced with high budgets but not getting a return. You have the Marvels, which made about I think it was 150 million worldwide opening weekend, and that film cost over $220 million to make, and you still not have made back your investment. Again, that's as a Marvel film, that's not good. That's not good at all. So the question proposed in terms of what's going to be next in terms of Disney Studios. Now, I have a few suggestions what they can do. Well, one of the things that they have to do is they got to pull back in terms of them overly producing these films, right? That a film does not have to cost $200-300 million to make. And what you've noticed, seeing the fact of whether it might be the marketing department or the writing of their characters, to the point that people are not going to the theaters to see these movies. Now, another thing you also have to ask is that that blessing can also be a curse in disguise. right? Because there's another entity in Disney that has been recurring revenue, however, might be more of a detriment than a benefit for this company, and that is Disney Plus. Why do you think Disney Plus? That I asked, right? Well, Disney Plus has now, just as much as every other stream, such as HBO Max, Apple TV, Hulu, which, by the way, that's gonna be another conversation that tomorrow that Hulu and it's gonna be merging with Disney Plus by definitely by the end of this year. I think that's probably gonna be the conversation we'll be having because Hulu and discussions now they're gonna be merging with Disney Plus as a streaming service. So I know definitely be on the lookout for that. But I think the fact that the option of Disney Plus has been a detriment for theatrical movies in Disney. Why? Because you now present the option. Well, guess what? I don't have to go see the movies to go watch the Marvels. I can just wait till it come on Disney Plus in a month or two, which you will. I don't have to wait to watch Wish, whatever. I can just wait until it comes on Disney Plus and watch with my kids, right? Paying that $15.99 a month, whatever. I know they increase the subscription, whatever, but I don't have the dollar to go to the theater anymore because it's not what's the point? I can just wait. I don't think it's gonna be good, right? Again, oh, sorry, y'all. I said my mic was muted. But yeah, streaming is definitely going to be what's going to be destroying these shows. So a lot of these properties are not going to be profitable only because you're now presenting the option. Well, I don't need to see this Marvel movie right now because I've been seeing decline of quality. So therefore, I can just wait till it come on Disney Plus. What's the point? What's the point? Now, I just also want to introduce somebody on the show. This is the first time he's been on my platform. Had great conversations with him on Fight Club. Rest in peace for Fight Club. But yeah, I had great conversation with him. But I want to shout out to the Red Pill Ranger.
How you doing, Jed? I might appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.
Doing good, man. Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, I love your takes, man. Like I said, it's hard to find somebody that can talk about this kind of stuff and actually know what they're talking about. You know?
Yeah.
A lot of people just only know comics from the movies.
Right.
That drives me nuts.
Right. Yeah.
All their understanding is from the movies. And they be like, yeah, you know, Iron Man was in Afghanistan or something. No, he wasn't.
Right.
Not originally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to ask your take on this because we covered a few things that Disney tomorrow is actually going to be having a shareholders meeting that just reported by Variety and Deadline, and it's basically kind of having an all hands on meeting talking about the direction we're going to be having with not only with the Disney Plus shows but also the films as well, because this has been textbook this year that Marvel, not just Marvel but Disney itself as a corporation has been declining in terms of basically getting a return on their films. This animated film that just came out this past weekend, Wish, only made about $17 million domestically and not do good. Critically did not do good as well. And it cost about maybe like $200 million to make in terms for an animated Pixar movie. It didn't do good. So I just want to ask your take on that.
It's over for Disney. It's up. This is the thing. Disney, first of all, I believe in inclusion and all that. But also as a fan, I believe in storytelling. And good storytelling is right. Inclusion should be involved, but it shouldn't trump storytelling. Disney is so focused on diversity and getting those certain ticks off for certain groups that storytelling and plot and logic and character-driven narratives fall to the back burner of their other desires for certain target groups. And so you get poorly written stuff. And you get people tired of getting hitting over the head, just hammered with certain stuff all the time. Just let it happen naturally. Just let it be part of the story. Let it be organic. Let it make sense. You can get those things in the story. But the heavy-handed way things are going now is turning people off to certain movies and stuff, and people just bored with it, tired with it. It's uninteresting. And the last box office draws have been a clear um what's the word I'm trying to use? Sorry, I'm tired. Indication of that,
Mm-hmm.
as in the Marvels,
Yeah. No.
the movie nobody asked for.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Not even the first one was asked for.
Yeah. And again to the last topic on the shows, that with the direction of Marvel where they're going right now, because there recently was just a release like behind the scene footage of the new Agatha show. Because I know Agatha's gonna be coming sometime Halloween 2024. But again, all these Disney Plus shows that of these characters that nobody are asking for, and now to the point that we're only getting one MCU movie, which is gonna be Deadpool 3 next year. And I think that the next tomorrow that Disney can be having a meeting is also a new slate that's been announced previously. It's going to be changing. I think a lot of these Disney Plus shows and Marvel that they announced back like a year or two ago, they're not going to be making. They're not going to be making. I believe the Wonder Man show. I don't believe they're going to be making this Vision spinoff. Whatever. I just don't think a lot of these Disney Plus shows are not going to be made. And when it comes to Avengers Secret Wars and stuff, is also having the conversation with Doctor Doom has been brought up a lot, but now that we're getting confirmation of Fantastic Four coming, but we're still hearing some things that they're still switching, like a female Silver Surfer, a Galactus, which we just had back when I was in like 10 or 12 years old, when Fantastic Four Rise of Silver Surfer came out, when Galactus was a cloud and bombed, right? And now you want to do Galactus and Silver Surfer again, but not even Silver Surfer. You want to change it to a female Silver Surfer, which is one of the issues that people are having with Marvel right now. Just want to ask you on your points on that.
Well, yeah, that goes back to what I just was talking about, the hitting all the target groups and trying to appease some people, when their main mistake is not trying to appease the target audience, the original audience, the comic book lovers. These fair weather fans aren't going to fill up your theater. They seeing proof of that now. If you try to get the non-believers, the non-comic people, if you try to make your films for them, you're not going to get butts in the seat. It's just not enough. You're going to run us off, and they just not going to come enough to support you. Like that Agatha, no one asked for that. She's a little known character. She has it. I don't know if she ever held a whole comic book herself, probably a couple limited series. Like, no one cares about this D-list character in the show when y'all haven't done New Warriors at all. Y'all haven't done Night Thrasher. Y'all haven't done Nova. But you're gonna spend money and time and energy to make Agatha, to make Miss Marvel, to even make Captain Marvel in general, when that whole character should have simply been Nova. Everything she did should have been Nova in her place, and would have made a lot more sense. Thanos destroys Xandar. Energy don't get destroyed, it gets transferred. The energy goes to Richard Rider. He becomes Nova Prime. All the awesome, powerful things she did, Nova Prime could have do those exact same things with very similar abilities and strength. But they dropped the ball on that. Wanted to appeal to a demographic that really is not into this stuff that much in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so they're making bad decisions now. When they went to Disney, a lot of bad decisions started getting made. I think Disney might be the downfall of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, because when you talk about with the Marvels, though, again, like a lot of conversations are coming from that, and with the director Neil DeCosta, because there's also
I support to that system.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say that support to that system. for getting that
Right,
off.
exactly. And because she directed Candyman, which I enjoyed most part. The recent Candyman they did. But yeah, and she got hired from that job to do this. But there's a lot of things where she said in press, like, hey, this isn't my movie. This is Kevin Feige's movie. Right now, before, when you've heard that before, you've heard that from other directors before. Years ago, remember that we were supposed to have Edgar Wright to do Ant-Man, and then we were getting ready to shoot. Then he got dropped, and now we had Peyton Reed in just making these Ant-Man movies, right? But the issue was that, hey, I thought they want to make an Edgar Wright movie. That's what they got me. And then no, they said no, we'll make this type of movie. Same thing with Black Panther. Ava DuVernay, who directed Selma and other projects, stuff like that, she was supposed to be directing Black Panther, and she did for Marvel completely, not even just with that project completely. And she jumped off to go to DC to do a New Gods movie that never got made, and stuff like that, because she said, hey, they did not want me to make the movie that I wanted to make. Right now, in the past, when you hear studio interference, we hear that negatively from DC. Because we heard that was going on with Zack Snyder, the Josh Whedon cut, all the stuff, the Snyder cut and everything, and other projects such as Suicide Squad, where David Ayer, the first Suicide Squad movie got cut in the editing and everything like that. Half of Jared Leto's scenes got put away, and they try to make a comedy and stuff out of a very serious movie, right? So, but now we're seeing for what it is now, to a point that studio interference is actually jeopardizing Marvel. And what I'm saying is that what is now the point, or is it far from being redeemed? Because we still have a long way of other films to go before we get to another Avengers movie. But I just asked you that. What do you think probably direction that Marvel can do to now, regardless of what they could change in the past, wherever, but just dealing with what they have right now, and that the fact that we only got one MCU movie next year, what do you think that if you had the keys to actually narratively just structure everything, what would you do?
I would start with these cookie cutter movies, because all their movies you can kind of lay them on top of each other, and the plot points kind of line up identical. You can change the character, you can change the story, but they have they're the same formula. Marvel movies are extremely, extremely predictable at this point, so they need to figure out some kind of way. They need to start sticking to the Marvel formula. They had this thing where if it's broke, don't fix it. But sometimes at this point it's looking broke, so it might need to get fixed. At this point, it's looking broke, so they need to just reshuffle their whole storytelling narrative, the whole process, the whole plot outlines of their kind of film, and they need to listen to the real fans and start introducing characters. Like, they really need to get the new horrors up and going. We're not. I see they're pushing for this Young Avengers, but ain't nobody really checking for the Young Avengers
Right. Yeah.
like that. The new Warriors is. I know they want to do the Fantastic Four and all that. They're gonna try to get into that X-Men stuff now that they got the rights to all that. But a team that's similar to the Avengers, that has a fan base and a popularity, and some really cool characters that stand out on the screen, you have to lean into the new Warriors at this point if you want to keep this thing going for a certain amount of years. And they have to stop worrying about all this PCBS and just tell good stories. And if the PCBS get into good stories and it's natural and organic, I'm all for it. But that shouldn't be the focus. The focus should be good stories and interesting characters and non-generic plots. So they have to. I don't see it getting fixed, to be honest. I just don't. I'm looking forward to what DC's coming up with James Gunn. Actually, I kind of almost gave up on Marvel at this point. They're going to reprove themselves to me. I believe.
Yeah.
Like DC, I gave up on DC, but I'm interested to see what James Gunn do. Marvel has no interest nothing coming out from Marvel has me like rubbing my hands excited. But I'm excited about that Superman movie James Gunn did. I want to see it. But he got
Yeah, because I would do when you mentioned with DC, because last week there was a whole bunch of new casting that came out recently. Not only that, we got cast of Lex Luthor, we got cast of Jimmy Olsen, but the one thing that a lot of people is noticing is that they're casting traditional base or saying actors tied to the comics and everything, where it's like, hey, that person looks like Jimmy Olsen, that person looks like Lex Luthor, that looks like Lois Lane, that looks like Superman, right? And so it's slowly getting to a point where everyone's like, hey, this casting might look good. And I just want to ask, have you heard about the new casting of Jimmy Olsen, Lex Luthor? Like, and what's your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, amazing casting actually. The guy that they cast for Lex Luthor, I just was watching him in Reinfeld. Is that it? Where he played the vampire's assistant.
Yeah,
They,
and it was called Renfield.
Renfield, yeah, Renfield. I was just watching Renfield. Goofy little movie, but it was fun. A lot of action, fun. He's a really good actor. I think he can pull it off. In the Jimmy Olsen, it says some people was complaining, talking about he's not a ginger. Who cares? You can't satisfy these people sometimes. If they want to dye his hair, they will. But it's not a deal breaker. He has the look. He's a really good actor, and he has the look. He can. I think he's gonna kill it.
Yeah, because he's actually one of the he was an actor on the show Righteous Gemstones,
Yeah.
so that he's a very very good actor in it. But when I look at Jimmy Olsen now, just like the height, and he is ginger, he recently just been blonde and a few and stuff like that. But aside from that, like the casting of this is going to more traditional type of DC, and I think that it's probably going to be a come up where DC's going to flip on his axis, where now we're having Marvel basically being the position that DC was for many years, and now being flipping, seeing the reign of DC coming together. And for me, I'm old enough, and you're old enough where it's like we've had things in our childhood that we saw that got turned to live action or made to movie, and we just complete shit. And we just accepted that. You know what? All right, that time has passed. I still got my cartoons, still got my comics, whatever. And I remember the good days when I was reading them. But now those days are long past now. So now when I'm watching these movies, I'm not butthurt because I'm already just accepting something that, I'm not having this high expectation as I did before, because good things don't last forever, basically, right? And and as much as there's a peak in Marvel and a peak in anything, there's always a plateau, right?
Yes, Marvel needed this. They got too arrogant. They needed to be humble. They got arrogant and they got lazy. And the last 5-6 films show how lazy they got. They just feel like, oh, we can just give them anything, they're gonna fill up the seats. They were proven wrong, and I'm glad, because sometimes you need to be reminded that you have to do some quality work. And DC has been humble many, 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 many times. Like they ate humble pie too, their stomach sticking out. So
Right.
they have to produce now. I'm really excited that they're doing the Authority, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, because
I'm excited about all that new stuff. I'm excited about comic book movies again, thanks to DC. That's something I never thought I'd say.
Yeah, no, because even with the fact that he's doing this approach with milestone character, or not the or
Wildstorm.
milestone characters, but the fact that he's doing that with Authority, that means that's telling me that he's also have that ability to touch with other characters too. Like, listen, I've been waiting for them to do a Static Shock movie. I heard they are developing one, and that's been developing hell with Michael B. Jordan for years, right? And I'm like, I might have my first child before that movie comes out, right? At that time, but regardless of it, I'd rather wait than you just to bring that character and mess it up, right? Because when you mess it up, it's something I can't. That is like for certain characters, it's like we might have dealt with a bad Spider-Man movie, once in a while, whatever. But majority of them was like, okay, you're decent to good. But like when you have a character that is, especially a black character, where it's like, okay, Ain't no PC, stuff like that. This is who he is. And the show, the comic book, source material was ahead of his time. It's a timely story, definitely dealing with gun violence and at schools and stuff like. I remember that watching the episode when I was a kid, and it's like that wasn't happening, but now here and now, like that, people need the story of Static Shock now. But again, if you're just gonna mess it up and just turn it to a whole thing of of an agenda, because I said this in with any of these characters with Marvel and DC, never put your agenda or your universe before your characters, right? Because again, over time, it's been seen that the agenda has either destroyed. Well, we want to make an Asian represented movie, Shang-Chi. Okay, cool, but now we had that movie came out, financially didn't do well, and here we are, probably not gonna see that character until 10 movies later, right? Eternals critically was disaster, and yet they try to diversify and literally go as reported from Variety. They made it as an experiment, like, well, we want to do our first openly LGBT character, and just put it out there and have 10 characters that nobody knows, and just think, yeah, this movie just gonna make $1 billion because of the director and everything like that. Wait, no.
That was insane.
Right.
The Eternals ain't never been cracking, not even in the comic books.
Not even the comic books at all. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Introducing all those characters, we didn't get a chance to connect to none of them because it was just too many. They tried to get everyone their little backstory or whatever, but I didn't care about nobody. I just did. Some of them I couldn't even remember their name. Everything was just happening so fast, so many people, and it was bad. It was bad. It's one of those ones that I didn't even try to watch twice.
Yeah, I only watched it once, and I just go back watching a few scenes, but like at best, but like again, it's 10 new characters, but the most important, at least people that we want to see, are not even in the film. Even in Blade was supposed to be in the movie, right? It was in the movie, right, off screen, and then we didn't get it with a Black Knight and everything, and again, and with Blade right now going in production hell. Definitely going over with different rewrites with directors and writers. And now when we heard the news that they were trying to have Blade be a third wheel character in his own film, and basically character like a female group of characters, and basically Blade be the side character in his own movie. And we're reading, I'm like, wait, what is this?
Like, who even thinks this is a good fucking idea?
Right. Exactly.
Excuse me, I don't know if I curse on your channel. I apologize.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, that casting though, I ain't sure about that casting for Blade.
For Mahershala Ali?
Yeah, he has the look, but they take it too long to make this movie. He was already like 46 when they casted him.
Right.
And that was way back in 2018 and 19. And 2019 when they first announced he was going to be in it. He was already 40 something.
Right.
And now I don't even think they started filming it yet. This dude gotta be 50 by now. How many movies you gonna get? I know Black don't crack,
Right.
But how many movies you gonna get out a man when the first movie coming out and he's 50? You gotta go ahead and make them, especially with the way they make their movies.
Mm-hmm.
If he start Blade 1 at 50, he's gonna be 60 by the time the third one come out.
Right.
And as much as Black don't crack, time is still undefeated. And it's like, I don't know, I wouldn't cast a 45-year-old man to start a franchise with.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and the last thing, just before I wanted to just end the show, there have been a report that came out recently, because we talked about Disney Plus shows and that not really interested, but we got, at least there's a report going around that they're actually moving forward and doing season 2 of Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, and She-Hulk. So yeah, I just want to know what's your thoughts on that?
They just want to throw away money, man. Moon Knight was mid because it wasn't dark enough. Moon Knight is one of those shows that should have been done on Netflix. It should have been like Daredevil and the Punisher on Netflix. That was not Moon Knight. That was Moonlight. You know,
Right. Yeah, right.
and it's very Disney-fied. But I would tolerate that. But ain't nobody checking for Miss Marvel or She. They're just wasting money at this point. But again, they gotta feed the beast. They had to make Miss Marvel and She-Hulk to feed the beast. The beast being the system, and they gotta make them, unfortunately, because that's the bed they built for themselves to lay in. And now they done built this bed of making this kind of stuff, and you can't flip the bed over now. So you got to bite the bullet and push out this BS, this failed content.
Mhm.
And they stuck there, and it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be amazing to see the roles flip with DC and Marvel, but it's going to happen. It's gonna be when James Gunn stuff come out. DC movie's gonna be making 800 million, and the Marvel movies are gonna be trying to crack 200.
Yeah. Yeah, I think because I think that Superman Legacy definitely is in a position to be. I'm not saying it's gonna be the greatest, comic movie of all time, but definitely gonna be one of the most important DC movies that Warner Brothers ever made.
Yes.
Because uh, it has a lot riding on it, and it's not like oh yeah, we just need a movie just to be good. Like no, you have an entire universe riding on this movie, and yes, a lot of immense pressure on that, which is why I'm actually liking the how James Gunn is not responding to every single critic or anything talking about the casting, even the actors. They're not even getting social media talking about some stuff to get them canceled. Because like right now, I see some people getting on the guy that got cast Jimmy Olsen because some comments, something about the whole Israel and Palestine thing, and people trying to say, oh, James Gunn, please, uncast him, whatever, and cast somebody else, whatever. And I'm like, do you understand? Like stuff like this, we're not going to remember this in a year from now.
No. And celebrities just really need to stop talking about that stuff, to be honest. Like, keep your little opinions to yourself, to a degree. Because I don't know. I think it's silly to.
Yeah.
I don't think they're. I don't know how informed they are, but I doubt they truly informed enough just to be throwing that out there. Because you're connected to these other agencies when you sign to my movie. Just keep the politics out of it for a little bit while you're under contract for me. That kind of thing.
Right.
What do you think about the other casting, real quick, in that movie for the side characters?
Well, with that,
Superman
okay.
Legacy.
Yeah. So,
Other hero.
good question. You said it because I'm still baffled that amongst the main core of Superman casting, we're getting Green Lantern, we're getting Hawkgirl, and we're getting Mr. Metamorpho and Mr. Terrific. And now my childhood when I grew up, and not only that, also my dad too. We grew up on Justice League Unlimited, right? The animated series, the Batman animated series, the Superman animated series. I remember, times that you see Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, just show up in a Superman animated series episode. And when you're watching Justice League Unlimited, I didn't know who Mr. Terrific was, but I saw a black dude that was running the damn watchtower. I was like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing now, you know. So the only thing I have apprehensions about it too is like there's a lot of characters that's happening in this one movie, in his first movie, and I'm like, okay, what's because it also be reports that that potentially, because I don't know if the casting has been revealed yet, but possibly Brainiac might be the villain of the movie. Not Lex Luthor, but because there's a character called the Engineer that will play an antagonist, but I wasn't thinking it was confirmed that she's going to be playing the villain. Because I think it's still going to probably be Brainiac, but he's just waiting on that casting. But with the side supporting characters and stuff, no, I definitely think when I heard that cast, I was like, okay, you have my antennas raised because you're taking creative liberties in the comics, but and you're not making an origin story, but at the same time, I'm still questioning. All right, I'm not getting the first Green Lantern, and I'm not even getting the second one. I'm getting the third, or should I even say the fourth? Because Alan Scott was the first Green Lantern, and
This guy Gardner, the third one.
Guy Gardner is so
Yeah,
Golden
he
Age,
is. 'Cause
and Golden Age is Alan Scott. Silver
it's
Age,
Hal.
the first one is Hal Jordan. Second one's John Stewart. The third one is Guy Gardner. So we're getting the Lanterns show on HBO Max, which is supposed to be a true detective type of style show, but with both Hal Jordan and John Stewart. There were some rumors about casting, but nothing has came out yet. But again, like to have an older Guy Gardner, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of like, you know, like
Yeah,
scratching my
Nathan
head.
Fillion, he's a cool dude, but he's kind of up there now.
Right. And I was like, at least if you're going to do that, okay. He voiced Hal Jordan before in animated shows and stuff like that, but
He's too old to be Hal, though.
yeah,
Too old to be Hal.
I mean, yeah,
I think they doing that to. Well, he said that he wanted it to be a world where superheroes already exist. No origin story. Superheroes are already in the world. Superman ain't the only one, and just their world know about superheroes.
right.
So hopefully it's not too much going on in it, and they just got like a little part. I don't know how you can pull it off. That's a lot of characters.
Well, yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing them on screen, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think what this is like, it's opportunity for them to, like, when I was a kid, when they were dropping these characters out in Justice League and Batman series and everything, I didn't know who these characters were, but they were just in front of me, right? And over time, they would just start popping up out of nowhere to a point that, okay, here I am seeing years later, and I'm like, okay, I know Mr. Terrific. I might not know his origin, whatever, but I know who that character is, right? And I think that's what for me, which I appreciate what they did with Blue Beetle, is that you are expanding legacy within this universe, right? And the fact that that you're slowly being organic to the fact that, okay, well, if let's say for example, if this was Marvel, okay, if I already saw Richard as Nova, then I see a little, I forgot the dude, the Mexican dude, kid, that's Sam, right? Yeah, that's a Nova, right? Because you are established as a legacy, right? So when I'm seeing other characters pop up within DC, okay, that makes sense. So, but that just overall just expand the universe bigger to the point that it actually narratively makes sense. Because again, what James is saying is that he said story, that's all the focus on for this new chapter of Gods and Monsters that he's doing for his universe and stuff like that. And for me as a fan, all I want is for him just to do his own thing, and I'm not, and us just to stay out and just watch and let the first movie judge for itself in terms of tone and stuff, and we just go from there. And so for 2024, no DC content, nothing, right? and 2025, I'm coming all all cylinders. Marvel got 4 movies. Blade, if it doesn't get delayed, the Black Captain America movie, Fantastic Four, and Thunderbolts. All in yeah.
Oh, one thing I do like that James Gunn doing, he said that his movies are going to go back and forth between animated and live action, but they all going to be connected.
Yeah,
that's something the other people never did before, and it's creative. Marvel probably going to try to copy it. But to make in theater animated movies that actually directly connected to the live action ones, like that Creature Commandos, it's an animated movie, but it's going to be a movie and it's actually connected to the other stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that can save a lot with budget too.
Well, yeah,
some movies animated, some live action. It's ingenious.
Yeah, because even with that, like with the voice actors, it saves up on money because you don't have to hire like voice actors and stuff like that. But also, the same person voicing them in animation will also be voicing them in live action. And now with What If, they have some actors returning to voice those characters, but not all of them.
No.
Right. So again, it's still And then even then, like, what if Marvel's What If is not really connected to movies, even though it's canon, not stuff like that. But yeah, I want to bring somebody in the back here. Marcus in the building. How you doing, man?
Marcus.
Marcus, you hear me?
You on mute.
I think you're on mute. No, all right, I'm gonna put you in the back until you saying you're unmute your mic. Just let me know. But yeah, no, but I think that with the way that DC is going with that, 'cause I know that the production of Superman Legacy is coming, and see, I can't unmute. Let me see. Not saying Marcus, no messaging me. All right, there you are. All right, unmute yourself.
Yo, can you hear me?
There we go.
Yo!
Got you.
Hey, shout out to you guys, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I think I'm going through some weather difficulties on my end, so I apologize. So I just want to say shout out to Jedi. Happy holidays. Hope you had a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Same with Red Pill Ranger. Nice to meet you. Probably Jedi still talking, and I'm probably interrupting him, so I apologize.
No, you all good.
Good, man.
Yeah, let me move to a better spot. But we're good. I'm good now. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I just wanted to say, like, I appreciate like Invincible for what it is, because we get into the PG or PG-13s of the comic and stuff like that, and then when we start watching like Invincible, which like that's a more adult, mature like material when it comes to like the violence or like the quote unquote aggressive attacks and battles and stuff like that. But the dialogue is great because you see like the father-son dynamic between like Omni-Man, and then you have his son, which is Invincible, and the Viltrumites and stuff like that. And then I'm seeing like I just started watching not too long ago, so I'm still getting to get familiar with like the characters and like the origins and stuff like that. But someone was telling me to watch it a while back, and I take my time when I get to start binging little by little, but bits by bits. I just think I thought the favorite dialogue I had with Omni-Man and Invincible catching up to this season was we're gonna lack of using certain words on YouTube, we're not gonna make it unless you have to do that hard decision, which is what Omni-Man is telling Invincible to do, which is his son. Yo, yeah, Rachel, I know.
I like
yeah, and then just seeing like the ranks and the hierarchy and all these levels of people, like of these higher beings and stuff like that. And then when he finds out he has a brother that is like of a different race, I guess, or different creed, alien race, I mean.
Oh yeah, you're breaking up, Marcus.
The fact that Omni-Man made it to Mortal Kombat, you're good. And then like Mortal Kombat, like when you add Omni-Man there, as a character for an avatar, you made it pretty big when you're coming out in these kind of special guest appearances on certain game platforms and stuff like that. So I know they keep making these videos of Homelander versus Omni-Man. So I think that makes it interesting. And I know how it left on a cliffhanger, the way it left off. Yeah, I'm waiting for more. And then as far as like what Jedi was saying about like, without getting too political about certain things that are happening, like when I see celebrities do these kind of, I have to respond, because if I don't, I feel like they don't think I will care about it. Or before they might say, hey, how come you didn't say nothing? You sound insensitive because you didn't respond to it. Like making a post is going to make a difference. Like reacting to it is going to make a difference. Like unless you're actually going to go over there and actually do something about it, then like, come on now. Like what are we doing? Like, I get it. You want to be part of this virtue signaling pact where, hey, I make sure I get on this first before anybody does, or I become trending, or I become relevant. I stay relevant, make money that way, whatever it is, whether it's presidential campaign runs, whether it's being on a podcast and virtue signaling, whether it's going on a tabloid and it's virtue signaling. I just find it ridiculous when I see that kind of stuff, because you have no idea what the real world is. You forgot where you were. You forgot where you came from. You're riding in jets. You're getting the red carpet, status. You're living in a mansion. You don't know what the real world is anymore. Even if you came from that, you're no longer a part of it. You're part of the elite class. That's where you live. And this is coming from a guy who was a combat veteran, who deployed, who was in the Marines, the men's department, who was an SF, Special Forces, who was recon sniper. And these guys are out here thinking just shut the hell up. Yeah, if you're going to go make a difference, go make a difference. Go shut up. Go. I'm not saying just make a sandwich. Go work in the FEMA camps. Go be a combat medic. Help them out. If you really want to do something, if you're really about it, mine isn't about words, it's about actions. So that's why I get kind of irritated and kind of pissed off, because they have no idea when it comes to things like this.
Mm-hmm.
That's why that's how I look at it. It's just me. And I don't mean to sound like I'm kind of raging about it, but I'm passionate about it, because things like this have been happening for hundreds. I appreciate you too, Red Pill Ranger. But
I was in the military too, so
and
I get it.
just shout out to you. And it's like, come on now. Like, we have people that literally were passing away trying to jump on a cargo plane when they were pulling out our troops, trying to get out of there. And look, just because now we have it so sweet out here too. We live in a first world country. And I hate to have to do this, because I have to over-explain, to over-analyze, just to make sure somebody doesn't come at Jedi Mike the wrong way, or just if they watch this, they'll attack him. It's ridiculous. And it's like, I get it. If you want to care, there's no problem with caring. But if you care for actually caring, then do something about it. But don't just because you want to scrape some dollars and you want to be relevant and it's the trend to do. Same thing with the BLM thing was happening. It's the same thing. Or when they wanted to add the boys with that scene where January 6th on the boys. And, and also, just to let you know, Jenna Ortega and me went to the same school in the same school district. We graduated, but we weren't in the same graduating class. But she was like a decade apart almost from me. But still, like,
Yeah, I forgot
that's the crazy thing, small world. So, it is what it is. I'm also prepared to see what happens with certain set projects and other universes. I'm wondering how Hasbro is going to handle that G.I. Joe thing with Transformers, because that kind of threw me off left field, even though it was Hasbro. But now everybody's got to get into the universe of making a connection to everything within their universe. So we'll see how that works out.
Mm.
Hey, Jedi Mike, I want to hear when you first talked about it. I just want to say I have a few problems with Invincible.
Oh, go ahead, man.
I have a few problems with Invincible. Love the show, amazing show. Read the comics. No, not one of the people that do a comic to show comparison. My problems is that, first of all, this guy ain't very invincible. I ain't never seen a dude get beat up so much in my life. This dude take L after L after L unless he's fighting a C-lister. This dude stay bleeding, stay scuffed up, stay scarred up. Every time he fights somebody even slightly close to him, he get beat up. He didn't, like the last episode, he didn't last 15 seconds with that one virtual mind. It was pathetic. This guy stay taking L's. Take the invincible out your name. This dude is very invincible. I understand you don't want the hero walking around like Superman, just bashing, beating up everybody, but this dude is softer than baby poop. Like, he really, really need to get his skills up. It's like everybody else does better than him, and they don't even have his level of abilities, but they don't get drugged like him. I have a problem with how squishy everybody is. Everybody's real squishy. I know Onion Man's strong and he's fighting strong people, but I know they want to do the guts and gore, but come on, man. Everybody just so grapey, so squishy. Like when Onion Man did the knife slice and cut the guy's stomach. This guy is the same as you, and why you cutting him like that with a slice when he's literally the same race as you? And it's like, I can't cut another human with a slice of my hand. So why can't you cut somebody with the same ability as you with a slice of your hand? But it looks good and gory. And they did it in the comics. Let me make that clear. All that kind of stuff happened. But it was good for a splash page in the comics. But it's kind of corny. Everybody just so squishy. And between that and the main character getting beat up all the time, terribly, those are my main problems with it. Oh, I love the Mauler twins. I just want to say
Mm-hmm.
the Mauler twins are freaking amazing. Best thing on the show. I love those.
Yeah.
I can't every time they on the screen. I just can't get enough of them. They're hilarious. But yeah, Invincible needs to take some self defense courses ASAP.
Yeah. Nah, yeah, I hear you, man. I hear. Yeah, because I think with the Mauler twin, like I've read the comics, and I think that is the source material of like being very gory. And the whole point of him, basically getting beat up and stuff because he's getting, eventually he's getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
And if I were for me to bring, build you up, I gotta break you down to rebuild you back up and stuff like that. Especially with another character, Alan the Alien. As you saw him basically got torn.
Oh, yeah, he was squishy too.
Right, yeah, turn the fuck up. No, I like eyeball and everything, stuff like that. Just wait. Yeah. So, but yeah, no. But I'll just say last thing with this part, which Marcus was saying, like, yeah, because I know like recently. The actress from Scream, that whole project basically been going to hell because actors basically she made a statement on Instagram just about censorship and stuff. Whether it was true or not, the studio just dropped her like that. But then Jenna Ortega, she left that project too. But the response what they gave was they're saying, "Oh yeah, she left because of scheduling conflict for Wednesday season 2." Bullshit. And because anybody who knows anything about press and like, because I do interviews and stuff like that with actors, and I've been in this industry for almost like a year or two now, and I can tell you is that anytime when you hear a director leave over some creative differences, is like no. So same thing, like, oh, there was scheduling conflicts. No. She dropped because she wanted to stand with her homegirl for this issue, but yet she don't want her name attached to the issue of in terms of the political war that's going on right now. So therefore, she's just like, hey, yes, Wednesday, nah. And again, and then because the whole point of this is that at this point now it's like because of politics at this point, that movie now is there's no point to continue further because the original actors from Scream they didn't want to pay her. So they basically just went on with a new storyline with these two actresses, which by the way were not the actresses that they were when it first started with Scream 6, because Jenna Ortega wasn't Jenna Ortega until after Wednesday came out. After Wednesday came out, it's like, okay, now give me that Wednesday money for me being in this damn movie. And they're like, nah, we ain't doing that. It's like, okay, did. So and successfully, the last two movies were good financially for a Scream franchise. Basically rebooted it. Now from the critic standpoint, from the box office standpoint, but now the fact that you don't have the original actors and the character, especially the main character, not Jenna Ortega, I forgot her name, the one that got fired.
Neve Campbell.
Yeah, her character is tied to like tying all the movies or from the first movie.
You gotta have Sidney Prescott. It's like not having Sigourney Weaver for Aliens, like you gotta have Blade Runner Harrison Ford. It's like Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford. Like, come on now, you can't do that. But I grew up watching the original. Red Pill Rangers, probably more closer to my age range. No, we're not trying to out ourselves in our age, but I ain't that old. But watching the first 3 or 4 movies, it was its own. And you knew Red Pill, like when you saw like the newspapers and they kept trying to leak the plots, and now and now you got Courtney Cox, Neve Campbell, David Arquette, who I've met personally. David Arquette, he's a really cool guy. He was still in that era of him wrestling. But then you get rid of his character in Scream 5, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Scream 5 or Scream?
Yeah.
Yeah, that you see his demise. So spoiler alert, it's been out for a few years, but Dewey's no longer Dewey. Dewey is Deadsy. And Scream 6. I didn't really watch Scream 6. I just read of it and what people were telling me. I'm still gonna catch up on that one. But it is what it is. Like they can't all last forever, in my opinion. Like I was like, if you're gonna end Sidney Prescott, aka Neve Campbell, at least end it off where she probably goes out swinging, and maybe saving somebody, and then that's how it
I'm
ends.
glad they fired her. I ain't seen the Scream movie. I don't know nothing about the actress, but I'm glad they fired her. Keep that crap to yourself. Nobody gives a dog. I can't go to my job and talk a bunch of political stuff either. Like, you can't be bringing your personal politics to work. You just can't. And they should know that. They're supposed to be professionals. You sign contracts. You got morality clauses. These people want to be connected to this. They want to make movies. And you work for them to make movies, not do political stuff. And I'm glad they fired her. And hopefully other people learn just to keep that stuff to yourself or just go be a politician. Go, like I said, go join the Foreign Legion or something. I don't know. If you care that much,
Be an
go
activist.
work for FEMA, like you said. Go really put if you care that much, but having some Twitter fingers ain't gonna do nothing for nobody but make the production company look bad and make yourself look bad because of association. Make them look bad because of associating with you. And yeah, I'm glad because I don't care about those people and they little soapbox, silver spoon ideologies and fake politics. Boo. Boo to them people. No, I'm glad they fired her. Get off.
I got you. Yeah, because I think I was on a panel, not a panel. I think it was on the show. In the comment section, basically people talking about this is like there, and a lot of people like they should have never fired her. And not for me, I'm like, I'm not even questioning about the stance that she took. What I'm talking about is the fact that there is love of hypocrisy here. The fact that you have some actors that can say something, say one thing, and they're still having their movie and their show, and then the actress with the stuff that she said was not even nearly as gruesome, or what do you call it, um, uh, triggering than what the other actors have done, and they're still now not been dropped, not been in any form of controversy. But again, this is what I'm talking about. That we're all going to forget about this when this thing's over in 6 months, hopefully, because we're just going to forget about it. That's just how the world, how the news and stuff just kind of be recycling. We're gonna be talking about we were on the spike talking about Will and Jada, and then no one's talking about it. And all of a sudden, somebody say, "Hey, here's Will and Jada, demonic circle, boom, and all that stuff, gay lover, and all that stuff, right?" And then nothing happens, and Will Smith come out. Yup, it's true. Or something like that. I don't know. I hope not. But anyway, that's just the world of cycling news and everything. How's it going to be though? But yeah, but I don't want to. I said don't keep you guys long though. This was a good show. Rebel Ranger, I have to do. I probably have to do like a special. We'll talk in the back chat and stuff like that. Because you and Hink was messaging me too. They want he wants.
Yeah, Hink's pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to do some what comic book stuff. We either try to like break down a comic book storyline or whatever, something like that, going deep into it. But I just want to thank Marcus too for showing up on the panel too. But Marcus, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me. We're gonna be running another channel again soon. We're gonna be putting content called ABM. Not ABM. I'm sorry, TWD, which is the weekly drop media. Me and Wally, we do content on there. We talk about variety of topics and stuff. I think one of the things I want to talk about recently is going to be like the Joe Rogan podcast with The Rock. I'm probably going to be reacting to that too, and then among other trending things as well. On the weekly drop media channel on YouTube, we're up and coming ourselves. I want to say again, happy holidays. Be safe out there. Anybody watching, anyone that wants to replay, go support Jedi Mike. He's been on this path. The path of the good side, the light side. Path of the Jedi. You're good to him, and he's been doing things like a good, honorable man of integrity with honor. It's very rare, very seldom to find men like this moving at a young age. Shout out to Red Pill Ranger. Nice to meet you, sir. Thank you for your service. I know Veterans Day was recently. Appreciate what you do. And shout out to the Power Rangers in the back. Even though I'm still team I'm trying to remember Jason David Frank, rest in peace. Yeah. Tommy Oliver. That's always gonna be my Ranger. RIP to him.
The Green Ranger always the Green Ranger is my favorite Ranger, but it ain't no
Yeah.
green pill. So.
I got you. Shout out to you and like I said, great content, great stream as always. You always I know Jedi. I'm surprised that even Jedi brought it up too when it came to the whole what's happening, foreign affairs and stuff like that, and issues and overseas and stuff.
Yeah, well, I had to because like that was big news the last week, and I was like, and I know she wasn't the first, and she won't be the last. So, and this
That's a
relate,
fact.
to be related to the movies and stuff like that. So I had to cover it, but yeah, Red Pill Ranger, thank you, man, for stopping by, man. I won't be the last, but I just want to know where the people can find you.
At the Red Pill Ranger on YouTube, they can go there for non-angry, non-raging, reasonable red pill information. If you want to just see women get bashed and all that crap, don't come over there because it's not that kind of page. I will hold him accountable for certain things, but I have no disdain for hate for women because I've been married 20 years and I have an 8-year-old daughter. So, but I can help you with understanding and accepting reality and fitness and self-improvement, just being the best version of yourself, like everybody should be, and understanding the nature of women also. But it's non-raging over there, and yeah, just swing on over if you want. I'm gonna start gaming eventually soon too. I want to live stream some gaming. Oh, by the way, Mike,
Yeah.
you a Sigma?
Yes, sir.
Me too, but I'm your cousin.
Wait, what do you mean?
Sigma Lambda Beta.
Oh, okay.
Our founding father was both.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The purple. Yeah.
Got you. Yeah.
But that's a story where the founding father of my fraternity was one of the few people that had double fraternity. He was a Sigma like Mike, and then he went and started another one, but he had to ask permission to be both.
Mm-hmm.
So he became a Sigma Lambda Beta, and that's what makes us cousin.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, man. No. Thank you, man, for stopping. And please put your channel information in chat so where people can find you, or put a link or something, or moderators if you can find the link. Make sure you drop it down in the comment section. Just want to make sure we show people support. But yeah, guys, I want to say I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Going into this year, hope. Let me stop dropping this. Fuck this damn movie. Yeah, because this year going to award season and stuff, this is a year that after the writer's strike and the actor strike, a lot of opportunities now presenting itself. I just posted the interview I had with the through the producing company of Courtney B. Vance and Angela Bassett, interviewing the film called Heist 88 on Showtime that you can find right now. I do have another interview, which I won't say what it is though, but it's a surprise on Thursday. And I'm slowly in the week of December, could be a lot of things or small reviews going to be dropping because A24 been sending me again. It's award season right here. Oh, let's see here. Here. Yeah, you can see it here. Yeah, right there. A24 been sending me a lot of considerations for best picture. Well, that's not A24. These are A24 movies right here. One of my, this one here with Joaquin Phoenix. Another one here. And I think the other one I have, was The Talk to Me, which is my favorite horror movie of the year so far. But yeah, and I have been getting packages and stuff from Netflix. I do some unboxings from that. They're sending me screenplays of the movie. Also the soundtracks as well from Rustin that you can find on Netflix right now. But yeah, so a lot of things are coming. I'll be posting soon on the channel and everything. Just make sure you guys hit the notification bell. And I make sure you guys post it. But also, please give me some feedback. You guys see how ways that we can expand this channel and everything. We're at 720. We're almost at 1,000. Getting there. We appreciate you guys' support and stuff like that. But yeah, I just want to know any way you can grow as a content creator, any other content and stuff like that. Please Give me any feedback, any criticism is constructive criticism. My point of view. Big guys. Till next time, it's Jedi Mike 7. And I'll see you guys next video. Peace. We are. You guys stay in the back chat. Peace.
Okay.
We are out.
Is there anything you want the fans to know or any last thing you want to say to them before we get to see this series tonight?
This is where the fun begins.